Hi everybody. So the camera's been a little bit wobbly today because of the aftershocks. So the tripod's a little wibbly wobbly. So just excuse him, he's doing his best. He's living his best life. So I wanted to introduce you to your new, it's not technically yours. You're checking it out. I need these to be returned back to me. But your new friend, the Speedball Carver. Okay, so here you have the body of the carver, and on the back of that there's like a little cap. And if you open it up, it's storage for a couple of different types of blades and different gouges. So first, yeah, this one that I think looks like a little leaf. I think it looks pretty cute. Let's see if we can hold it up. Is that out of focus? Probably. It kind of works as like an X-Acto blade type situation. And then you have these three different gouges that are different shapes, different like how thick or narrow it is. Then you got a really narrow gouge, medium gouge, and a big gouge, a wide gouge. And these are what we are going to use for our carving. And so I just kind of wanted to explain the different kinds of gouges and what like you could use them for. So let me get a little piece of tile over here and we're gonna test it out. So here, if you look, there is like a little ball in here, and one section of the ball has like a tiny gap and the other side doesn't. If you unscrew it, it gets more loose and that gap gets more apparent. Can you see that? Probably not, but hopefully if you're following along with your own, you can. Okay, so this is really important. There's one with the gouge and then there's another side that's more curved, and it has like a nice elegant curve right here. The curve is the one that goes into your carving tool. You don't want to put the one that's like the V, you don't want to put that in the carving tool, it will get stuck. And then you tighten it back up, make sure it's tightened so it doesn't fall out while you're carving. So a few things about carving is you have to make sure you always carve away from yourself. You never want to carve with your hand right there, or you never want to have it carving pushing towards you. Because if it slips, it doesn't know the difference between what you're carving and your hand, and it's gonna just go right in. But if you have it like this and it slips, then it won't hurt anyone or anything. So make sure you carve away from yourself always. Make sure you have a firm grip on whatever you're carving so it doesn't slip and slide. And I'm gonna switch this out for another one. So again, there's a little gap there, and I'm going to put the curved end downward. So the curve goes downward, the divot kind of like hugs that ball, and then I twist it, make sure it's nice and firm in there. I'm gonna make sure I have a steady grip, and I'm gonna carve away from myself. Another thing I really need you to do is whenever you're working on these projects, you need to tell somebody. You need to be like, hey mom, hey dad, hey cousin, hey uncle, hey sister, hey whoever you're being quarantined with, I'm going to be carving. And make sure they're nearby in case you accidentally get hurt and you need help. Okay? Never do carving or anything by yourself. Okay, I'm going to switch this out. I'm gonna have this tiny little guy, tiny little gouge. I'm gonna put this right here. Again, the curved side downwards with the little roundy divot next to the ball. Tighten it up. Again, I'm carving away from myself. I can do a little like, woo, if I want, get fancy. A little snaky boy. Oh, see, now this one's a little stuck, so I'm gonna have to, oh no. Oh well, I guess this is good to show you what happens when it gets all the way stuck. So you can take it all the way off if it gets stuck. I don't know why it got stuck in there. And oh my gosh, this guy's really stuck. Don't hurt yourself if this happens. So I'm just gently wiggling it, trying to convince it to come out. Okay, bam, got it. But now I have this, I guess this is serendipitous. I didn't want to show you this, but I guess I can. So you see there's this part, this is the ball, and it's connected to something. Then this is the gap that it opens and closes. Oh no, how professional. And now I'm gonna put it back in here, and I'm gonna tighten it back up. So if it ever gets stuck like it did for me, you can take the whole thing off. Okay. And now I have this blade that will just do really small cuts. Oops, I was cutting towards myself. That was a bad thing to do. Okay, so can you see here how each different gauge and blade had a slightly different way of mark making? These ones are more curved. These ones are smaller and sharper. These ones are really thin. So you have 4 options to work with. And again, just to recap, you loosen it, take your tool out, and tighten it back in. And everything goes in this compartment here, and its little bum. Always cut away from yourself. Always have a tight grip on whatever you're cutting, and always make sure there's someone nearby who knows that you're cutting and carving. Is there any questions? If you have any questions, let me know. And now I'm gonna talk about stamps. That's our next assignment, so watch the next video about stamps.